Okay, so welcome ladies to your postnatal yoga class this morning. Thanks for filling me in on how you're all feeling. I've got some really nice moves and practices lined up for you, so let's make a little start. So just grabbing a pillow, whatever you've got to hand is absolutely fine. I like it to be double, a little bit of extra height, makes things more comfortable. And then coming into easy pose with one foot slightly in front of the other foot, so we're not going to get pins and needles by crossing the ankles. Now we probably always pick the same foot to be in front, so this morning let's just swap it around, and then that's just going to work back into the hips in a slightly different way. So it might feel a little bit weird to start off with, so have a little wiggle from side to side and almost get an idea of sticking your bottom out behind you a little bit, just to stick the tailbone out and help you sit up nice and tall. We're going to just roll the shoulders a couple of times, just moving the head and the neck, just easing out that initial tension that we've all got in the neck and the shoulders, and then just resting the hands down onto the legs. So let's go ahead and just close the eyes, dropping the chin down a few degrees, lean the back of the head back slightly and lengthen the back of the neck up to the ceiling. And then imagine you're leaning back against a wall. So you're going to start to feel a kind of line of support all the way down through your spine and your weight into your sit bones when you check into that. And on your next couple of exhalations, just let your weight settle down into those sit bones. And at the same time, grow tall through the spine. So the head, the neck, the upper back starts to elongate like a beautiful rose growing up towards the sun. And then the stem is the spine. And then as we move down into the legs, think of those as your roots. So relaxing your thighs as they spread out to the sides. And then all the way down the shins and into the feet. Think of all of that as your roots. And plug that down onto the mat. And then imagine going from your feet through the building you're in and weaving your roots down into the earth, going past all the different layers of soil and sediment, all the different textures and colours, and just take your roots deep, deep down into the earth. And now really consciously visualise tying your roots around some lovely big boulders down there, entangling them all around. So you're rooting, you're anchoring yourself down into the ground. And then in your mind's eye, in your imagination there, just visualise writing a tag and attaching that to your roots. And on the tag is your name written in full and today's date, which is Thursday, the 11th of June, 2020. Just visualise that all coming up either onto the roots or onto your tag and anchoring you into this here and now. Now as you look around and have a feel of that deep grounding Mother Earth energy, notice any colours, any qualities, maybe a sense of protection and security. And then notice if there's a gift for you in that space. If any object has appeared, just notice what that is. The first thing that comes to mind is fine. Notice if that gift has a message for you. And then thank Mother Earth energy for the gift, for the message. Just make a little mental note to maybe write that down later and have a ponder on it. And now moving your awareness, bringing your gift, bringing your message, and bringing all those qualities of Mother Earth energy, grounding, protection, security, safety, just drawing that all the way back up through your roots, through all the different layers of earth, through all the different colours and sediments, and then coming up through your building into your feet, bringing that Mother Earth energy with you up through your legs, the lower leg, the thigh, the hips and the pelvis. Feel it swirling all around you, swirling all around your torso as it comes up towards your heart. And then as your heart beats, feel that Mother Earth energy just move to every cell of your body, down to your fingertips, up to the crown of your head, the front of the body, the back of the body. And feel expanded and anchored. And then take your awareness gently up to the crown of the head. Notice sensation around the crown of the head as if you're open to receive, like a giant funnel. And just receiving your energizing energy, your positivity, any inspiration, any creative projects, anything that might be floating around that you're thinking you might want to turn your hand to. Just draw in all of that inspiration and vitality and clarity and positivity in through the crown of the head. As you soften the crown of the head, feel a warm, cool glow coming down through your face and your head, down through your neck and your shoulders. And then as that hits your heart in one beat, feel it go all the way down to the tips of the toes and to the tips of the fingertips. You allow yourself to be bathed in that inspiration and energy. Anything that you need to be giving some attention to. Creativity, self-care, whatever it was that sprung to mind is perfect. And just feel your whole body sitting quietly upon the earth, grounded and receptive in equal measure, just like that rose, grounded with the roots and with the lovely heavy petals all opening up, receptive to the sun. And take a breath into your whole body now. And a big sigh out. And another breath into your whole body. And another sigh. Deep breath in to your fingers, to your toes, to the crown of the head. Expand in every direction. And then the lovely big sigh from a loose jaw. As if you're steaming up a mirror to give it a clean. So just be aware of your whole body, the edges of your skin, the weight of your body on the ground, and the lightness growing tall up away from the earth. And then as you start to just open the eyes, keeping the hands down on the knees, just begin to roll the shoulders, just slowly, small circles, just taking your shoulders up to the ears and back and down, allowing your head to move. Staying with that breath, your Ujjayi breathing, inhaling deep breath into your whole body. And as we exhale, just finding a bit of pelvic floor, just a little light lift, a little drawing in of that lower tummy. Good, now leaving the hands on the legs, lengthen the arms, have a good grip around the knees and just circle your body just to move into the hips. Keep the spine tall and straight and strong. And now start to spread your toes nice and wide. So that activity of spreading your toes, engaging your feet should make you feel your pelvic floor respond again. So your Mula Bandha starts to actively engage. We don't necessarily want to keep that on the whole time. So just relax your feet, relax your pelvic floor every now and again. And then when you're ready, maybe on an exhale, go ahead and spread the toes, engage your core and just feel the belly respond. Good, now we're going to go the other way. Deep breath in, rooting down into that bottom half of the body, your base, growing tall up through the crown of the head towards the sun. Lovely, tall, straight and strong spine. And then coming back to center. Inhale, bring your arms up. So spreading the toes, spreading the fingers. Today we're going to lift the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, press the palms together and we're going to blow out as if we're blowing out 100 candles. So we're really fanning the pelvic floor on the exhalation. So relax the tummy, relax the feet, relax the pelvic floor as you inhale. Everything's quiet, everything's a bit floppy, and then blow out that breath. Press the palms. Keep blowing, activate the toes, and just be aware of your core turning on. Relax everything. So the floppiness is just as important as the strengthening. So lovely and soft, and then when you're ready, blow out that breath, 100 candles. Feel the pelvic floor lift up, feel your belly draw in. There's a meeting point where the two almost kind of kiss, and then we relax, we soften. Good, a couple more here, inhaling, lifting up through the spine, out through those shoulders, grow tall, and blow, 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 the longest exhale you can. Good, one last one here. Remember, floppy, have a little shake it out, float those arms, empty arms, and then engage as you blow the breath. Wonderful, really, really, really well done. Hands back onto the knees for a few little cat-cows. So just inhaling, opening the front of the body, heart forward. Exhaling, curling the tailbone under, chin down. Inhale, open the front. Exhale, tailbone under. Now see if you can lead this movement with the tailbone, feeling the ripple effects through the whole spine. Tucking under, drawing the belly in as you blow the breath out. Inhaling, getting into those shoulders, squeezing the shoulder blades down and back. Good. Well done, everyone. Last one. Remembering just to find that little bit of pelvic floor and core with every exhalation. So just a couple of little side bends here, just reaching up and over, looking up to the ceiling, reaching out with your fingers, breathing in and out here. Feeling that kind of stretch down one side and a little compression on the other side. Try and squeeze the side of the waist that we're leaning into. And then come down. Inhale, up and over, shoulders soften down away from the ears. Reach out with the fingers, spread the toes. Inhale, make space on that side, that big expansive side, and then squeeze the other side with a little bit of muscular effort. Squeeze the rib to the hip. Breathe in and out, and gently release. Good, we'll roll the shoulders, let the head move up and down. We'll just take a second set. So inhaling, reach up tall, then over. Look under your arm towards the ceiling. Reach out with the fingers, spread the toes. Breathe into the space on the side of the waist, and then squeeze the other side of your waist. Keep breathing in and out, and gently come down. Good. Last side, inhale, up tall, and over. Fingers and toes. Big breath in. Exhale, squeeze the other side of your waist. Take another breath or two there. So making space and compressing, equal and opposite. And then gently come back out. Well done. Another little shoulder roll. Really, really good. Now we're going to bring the arms over the head, clasp hold of the hands, and just zigzag the arms behind your head, dropping the elbow as far down as you can. There we go. I'm just seeing how that feels through the backs of those shoulders. Keep breathing. We're sitting up as tall as possible. And Sophie, even though you're kind of just holding the baby and doing your little wiggles, see if you can do your pelvic floor with every exhale. Little bendy knees, get your thighs strong. And that's it. And blow out those candle breaths to get your pelvic floor working. Good. Now we're going to bring the arms down, do a couple of little shoulder circles, and then we're going to release the legs out and start to work through all those achy joints. So having the legs out in front of you and the hands, we're going to start to circle the wrists and the feet. We're going to bring the hands out to the sides today. It's going to take a bit of coordination as we circle. We're going to start to bring the arms up as you keep circling the wrists, circling the feet. Keep circling all the way till you get to the top. Take a big breath in at the top. Big exhale, blow out the candles. Find your pelvic floor. Pause, circle the other way, quite vigorously. That's it. Slowly start to bring those arms down. So squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. Lengthen those arms away from each other and have your back as straight as you can. Excellent, really well done. And then gently release there. Let's bring the soles of the feet together. as close into the body as you can. Hands around the feet. Now use your glutes, use your bottom muscles. Try and squeeze them towards your feet, and then squeeze your feet towards your bottom. So you've got a real activity going from the front to the back and the back to the front. It's going to help get into your inner thighs. We're going to inhale, lift up tall, shoulders down and back. Exhale, just start to lean your chest forward and just see how that feels into the hips, into the thighs. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, heart forward, shoulders down and back. Now take one ear to one shoulder and maybe just drop the chin a bit until you feel that kind of Goldilocks spot where it's just right, where you feel that lovely kind of stretch from the ear to the shoulder. And you're going to breathe into that. So keep your bottom working towards the feet, feet towards the bottom, legs are activated. And then just release that head over to that side. Good, bring the head back to center, take it to the other side. And probably most of us have the chin quite high in the air, so as you just roll the face downwards, finding that Goldilocks feel where you're like, oh, there it is, from ear to the tip of the shoulder. It feels fairly strong. That's your tension that you're meeting. Keep working the legs. Inhaling and exhaling, blowing out the candles with every exhale. And gently release. Well done. We'll bring the hands under the knees and bring the legs out in front of us. And then we're going to just take the feet and the hands and just kind of window wipe them. That's it, from left to right. Activate your feet, activate your fingers. So we're spreading the fingers and the toes, we're stretching them. Brilliant. And then forwards and backs. All the way down with the hands, all the way up. Same with the toes. That's it. So getting into the front of the ankle and then up into the calves. Sort of similar along the wrists and the forearms. Good. And then take your elbows and circle the arms here. It's just a lovely little release through all the joints. Notice where you're feeling this, and then let's circle the other way. Deep breath in, deep breath out. And then we're going to do a big circle up and press the air away. So activate your feet, toes up towards your face. Inhale, reach up, sit up tall. Exhale, press the hand down as if you're pushing something into the earth. And then inhale, reach up tall. Exhale, so we're circling that arm. Inhaling as you come up to the front. Turn up your head, look over your shoulder and exhale. I'm just going to do two more on this side. You guys are doing really well. Keep your feet active, your pelvic floor strong. Keep breathing and finding your 100 candles as you blow out that breath. And then the other arm, inhale, up tall, press the air away. So it's as if we're trying to move that arm through really dense honey. It's going to take a little bit of effort through the whole of the shoulder. And actually back into your core. You might feel it around the ribs, around the shoulder blade. Try to keep your shoulders fairly level to the front of the room. So the torso still, but just the head and the arm are moving. Great, one more here. And then roll your shoulders at the top. Now let's bend the knees into a 90 degree. So I'm going to come off my pillow here. I've got my back leg at 90 degrees. I'll show you if I sit towards the top of my mat. I've got my front leg at 90 degrees and my back leg at 90 degrees. And I'm just going to place my hands down on the floor and slowly start to come down over that front knee. So just as much as you can, just resting on the thigh. And you should feel a lovely kind of stretch up into the glutes. And we're just going to relax here, but wake up the toes a little bit. Flex your feet towards your knees. And just breathe in and out. Try and take your body as far over that knee as you can. So lengthening your head and just coming down as low as you can, enjoying that little glute work, hip work. And then start to travel your head over towards your foot if you can. So you'll kind of glide up and down that shin. Just a couple of times, staying as low to the floor as you can, and just seeing how that feels through the hips. Good. Now as you sit up tall, see if you can do this with a bit of core control. We're going to hold the arms up in the air, keep the feet where they are, and slowly maneuver around. Don't worry if you can't. If you have to move your legs or put your feet down, that's fine. It's just something that we can play with and work towards. So 90-90 the other way, coming down over that long leg, just resting almost on your forearms, lengthening your head as far over that knee as you can, and then just taking some soft, quiet breaths here, in and out of the body, making this quite passive, and just enjoying that stretch up into the glutes and the hips. Maybe on your next exhale, dropping down a little bit lower, making it feel juicy and delicious inside your body. Nothing ever needs to hurt or be painful. If it does feel like that, you come away from the move. This wants to feel quite delicious. And then when you're ready, on the hands, we're going to just zigzag our faces down towards that foot and then back up towards the knee. Just traveling along the shin. Just doing what you can, noticing your edge and breathing in and out here. Good, really, really well done, everybody. And then coming back up, can we take the hands and just do this little rotation one way and then a little rotation the other way. You might feel like you go for a little walk on the mat, but try to keep still. Good, really well done. Sitting up nice and tall, spreading the toes. And then this time we're going to come over and come all the way around into our all fours. Brilliant. So as we find ourselves in all fours, we've got to bring a little bit of that core work in a little bit more strongly. So we're going to stick with the candle breath today. So shoulders down away from the ears. Just going to be in our lovely all fours for a moment. Spread the hands wide, bend the elbows. And as you start to blow out your candle breath, just take a moment to check in that you can feel your pelvic floor responding. The muscles between the legs are just lightly engaging, about 2 or 3 out of 10. It is quite subtle. And that lower belly is rising up away from the floor to come in towards your spine. So just check you've got that going on the next couple of exhalations. And once you've got that response, we're going to send the shoulders forward out over the fingertips and just start to lean into one hand and the other. Keep blowing that breath out. So we're looking for a little bit of strength through those arms. You're just going to go from side to side a few times and coming back away from this when it gets too much. So maybe taking one more breath, and then we're going to just ease back, all the way back onto the heels. Take your hands into a clasp and just do a little kind of figure of 8 with those wrists, really gentle. And then the other way. Good. Coming back onto the hands, this time we're going to flip them the other way. So we're on the back of the hands, palms facing up. Weight is in your knees. Come onto both hands and then try to straighten your elbows. Now that may or may not be available to you today, but that's where we're going to work towards. And we're going to do a little kind of bend the elbows out, straighten the elbows again. So it's like a little back to front push up, dropping the body down, pressing ourselves up. Now let's bring in the breath. So we're going to blow out the candles as we drop down. Inhale at the bottom, blow out the candles as you press up. Inhale at the top. We're just going to do one more. Exhale, blow out the candles, drop down. Inhale at the bottom, blow out the candles, press up. Place your hands back down on the floor. Really well done. Little bend in the elbows. Staying in your all fours. We're going to do a really tiny movement here, just with the chest. So we're going to just drop the chest down and then lift the chest up. So I'm keeping my arms completely straight. I'm just dropping my shoulders, my chest down, and then pressing up and rounding my back. So my shoulder blades squeeze together as I drop the heart down to the floor, and then my shoulder blades move apart as I lift my body back up to the sky. So it's a tiny move, it's just a few inches one way. Keep those arms kind of super strong and straight, and a few inches the other. Try not to let the back collapse around the waist. Keep the back of the waist flat. That's it. So nice flat back of the waist. Really, really well done. And then we're going to tuck the toes under and walk ourselves back and just do another little wrist release. Nice and gentle. Good. So guys, let me know how you're doing. If you're feeling okay, give me a little thumbs up. If this is really hard, give me a little más o menos with the hands. But if you're okay, a thumbs up. Yay, brilliant. Now we're going to come onto the toes here. So toes are tucked under. We're just going to roll up into a little kind of squatty position. So make sure as you roll up, you're blowing that breath out. So we're going to go engaging up through the pelvic floor, drawing in the tummy. And as we get into the squat, just press into the heels. So this is going to start to feel lovely up through the Achilles and into the calves. And then when you inhale, just come out. Exhale. Just rolling back into the heels, pressing the heels to the floor. Inhale, come back out. Now I'm keeping my knees, hips, ankles, feet all in one line. So they're all facing forward and they're all about 8 inches apart. So try not to open your knees wide for this one. Exhale. Sit down into your Achilles. So make this all about the backs of the ankles and the calves. Good. Coming forwards. And then one more time. Really good. Really good. Well done. Okay, now back into our all fours. We're going to take the right leg and place it up to the outside edge of the right hand, and then do some lovely big circles over that right foot. So just taking the knee towards the big toe, out to the little toe, and back to the heel. So this is really lovely if you're feeling any kind of sciatica, shooting pains from the bottom down the thigh. It can feel really lovely to get into this kind of circle lunge. Dropping your pelvis down if that feels comfortable for you. Staying with your candle breath with every exhalation. And then we're going to pause and circle that leg, circle that knee the opposite way round. So now we're leaning it out and then pressing it in. Circling it out and then drawing it back into the centre line. Take 1 or 2 more breaths here. And remember, ladies, at any point, if any of this feels too much, just drop back out into a child's pose, take a little rest. It's always available to you, and then join back in when you're ready. I'm going to step that leg all the way back, and then inhale, press the other foot up to the outside edge of the hand. So I'll show you guys from the front. So we're going to the big toe, out to the little toe and back. So lovely big kind of opening circles to begin with. Dropping down through the pelvis. Being mindful of your exhalations and your candle breath. And being mindful of that little softness through the core. So lovely for sciatica. So Tatiana, don't worry if you have to catch up on this bit. I'm just making sure we're putting the sciatica moves in for you. And now we're going to pause and do the circles the other way. So letting the leg drop out, drawing the knee into the centre. So we're just moving through all the different joints today, looking at mobility, looking at strength, keeping the core on as we go. Taking one more breath here, and then stepping that leg back. Really, really well done. Okay, so I want to do one more thing for the glutes, which is really good just to support your backs. So we're going to be back on all fours. And we're going to take one leg, we're going to keep it in a right angle. So at the knee, keep that 90-degree bend. Keep your back flat. So the thing is, we're going to lift this leg up as high as we can get it. And then we're going to tap it back down to the floor. And then lift it back up. Now, what usually happens is when the leg's up, the back of the waist collapses, the belly drops to the ground, and we come into that cat arch. We don't want that to happen. So we want the hips, the shoulders, and the back and the head to all stay still and quite flat. So think about blowing that candle breath out, engaging through your core, and also finding these lower front ribs and kind of asking them, these lower front ribs, asking them to just squeeze down towards your belly button. So just keeping the lower front ribs connecting towards the belly button will help you not drop the back of the waist. So we're doing these lovely little donkey kicks as you get into the glutes and get into the hamstrings. We're going to do another 3 on this side, if you can. If not, just have a little break, have a breather, find child's pose, and join back in. And then when you're ready, ladies, we'll take it to the other side. So using your candle breath, exhaling. Inhale as the knee touches the floor. It's a quick inhale. The leg comes almost straight back up again. You hardly touch the floor, it just grazes it. And then you keep the foot a little bit active, spread the toes, hopefully feeling this all the way up through into the glutes. We're going to do another 5, 4, keep the body still, no bending at the back of the waist. 3, 2, and 1. Well done, really well done. And just sit that out. Give yourself a little shoulder roll. Take a little breather. Okay, so I wanted to put in a couple of things on the tummy, but let's come up to standing first, and then we'll come back down to the floor. So rolling yourselves up, vertebrae by vertebrae. And when you get up to standing, give your shoulders a little roll. I'm just going to play around with weight through our feet. So spreading your toes wide, planting the heels. And actually, next time you practice, if you find you are standing with the babies, see if you can remember some of these moves that you might be able to do whilst you're holding them. Otherwise, hands on the hips. Just going to roll out to the outside edges of the feet. So just getting through those joints again. Spread your toes as you rest on the outside edges of the feet. Take a breath in and blow out the candles. Feel your pelvic floor lift up. Feel your tummy draw in. Feel that little meeting point of tension, engagement, and then inhale, relax the core. Exhale, blow. Pelvic floor lifts up. Tummy draws in. Inhale, soften. One more breath here. Exhale. Inhale, soften. And then bending the knees, rolling the feet all the way into the inside edge, lifting up the outside edge. So squeeze the knees together. Lift up the outside edges of your feet. Start to really feel that work all around the ankles. And then again, exhale. Good. Just feeling the pelvic floor come up and then that tummy, that lower belly coming in. We're going to do it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And gently release. We're going to march that out on the spot. Stepping into your left foot or your right foot, if I do it back to front. Bend that knee. And then take your other leg, maybe bring your arms out to the side, lift it up and then swing it into the center and then drop it back down. So bend the standing leg, lift up, and then close the legs to the center and then drop down. So we're going to try and move slowly with control. And I want you to think about really engaging the leg here. So it can also feel quite good if you've got your hand free to put it inside the knee and you're pushing the knee against the hand, and at the same time you're pushing your hand against the knee. So you're trying to resist your knee with the arm, and we're looking for that little bit of extra strength through the inner thigh. Do it with your blowing out the candle breath. So as the knee comes in, we're blowing out and we're getting the pelvic floor on. I'm going to do one more on this side. And change, walk it out. So start with just the circles, get the movement, bend the standing leg, and then when you're ready for a little bit of extra work, bring in the breath and the hand. Activate the foot, so the toes are coming up towards your knee, you're flexing the foot. So from the side, I'm kind of walking in and walking out. Walking in and walking out. Good. And then march that through. Some lovely hip work. Now with the feet active, toes spread, just going to rise up from the heels, up onto the toes, and then back down. So bend the knees, try and move slowly with control. Try and hold it when you get to the top, and then slowly down. Exhale. Land, breathe in. Exhale. Land, breathe in. Exhale. Land, breathe in. Good, we'll do another 3 here. Just trying to move as slowly as you can, staying up high on those heels, high off those heels. Good. Getting the calf strong, the thigh strong, pelvic floor strong. Whoops. Try not to wobble. And then march that out. Okay, so we're going to bring the feet together for this next one. And maybe the heels open just a little bit. And just keep squeezing the knees together. We're going to blow the breath out. And as the knees squeeze together, we're already feeling that pelvic floor get a little bit active, a little bit lifted, the tummy drawing in. And we want to feel that kind of lift up into the body. So at any point, if you're feeling like you're pressuring down, then come up away from that move, because we don't want to do a pressure down. So just really see how it feels for you. And then with the knees squeezing together, I'm going to blow the breath out, start to lift up through the core, and then gently start to come down. Hands at the heart. Just going to bend the knees as if we're sitting into a chair. Start to lean the knees back. So draw them back. So we're going to feel this up through the thighs. Start to sit down a little bit more. Keep squeezing the knees together. Lift up through the chest. Exhale, blow the breath out. Lift up through the pelvic floor. Maybe come down another couple of inches. Be really aware if you're feeling more of a pressure down into the vagina to come up and out of this one. You might not be quite ready for it. So just have a little experiment. Squeeze the knees together. If you find this is easy, you can take one arm out. Keep blowing that breath away. Inhale. Exhale, other arm out. But make sure you've got your pelvic floor on before you take the extra weight through the arms. We're going to do one more side. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale. Exhale. Press into your feet. Gently come all the way up and then march out those feet. Really good. Now we're going to do a couple of little roll down. So standing towards the back of the mat, feet hip distance apart. Activate the feet, so spread the toes, lift the arches. And then starting with the crown of the head, exhale, find your pelvic floor lifting up, blow out your candles, bend the knees as you let your head slowly start to hang down Arms are going to go with, rolling down through the spine, keeping your pelvic floor coming all the way up. At any point when you need to inhale, pause, inhale there, then exhale, go down a little bit lower. When we get to the bottom, we're going to inhale and then exhale, press into your feet. Keep your feet and your knees completely quiet, little bend in the knees, but don't let them wobble, and slowly roll up, engaging through your pelvic floor. When you get to the top, roll the shoulders, take a big inhale and soften your pelvic floor. Let it all go for a moment. Really brilliant, well done. Next set, inhale. Exhale, start to blow before you go. Find your core, slowly unravel yourself down. Link by link, moving through your spine. Pause when you need an inhale. Exhale, blow again. Re-engage the pelvic floor, little bit of lower belly, and roll all the way down. Little bend in the knees to help you here. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale, slowly press into the feet. Keep from the hips to the feet really still as you just link one spine, one vertebrae, back on top of the other. Exhaling all the way to the top, rolling those shoulders. Just remember to pause whenever you inhale on the up or the down. One more set, we're going to come down and then move on to the floor. So a little bend in the knees. Head down, exhale, blow the breath out. Keep engaging, scooping that belly in and up. Pause when you need to inhale. Exhale, another little set. And when you get to the bottom, we're just going to let a little dangle happen. So just letting the tummy rest on the thighs, relaxing the head and the shoulders. Taking a few breaths here as you lean into your toes and try and lengthen in the back of the legs. It's quite useful to keep a little bend here in the knees just to help release the spine. And then as you blow out that breath, find your pelvic floor and core, gently turning it on, 3 out of 10 in strength. Now we're going to walk those hands all the way out, come down onto the knees, and then we're going to come down onto the tummy. So the feet are going to be hip distance apart. I'm going to bend my arms so that they're just in front of my face, and at any point I can put my head on my hands and just have a little rest. So starting with the toes lengthening away from you, lovely long legs. Just relax onto the tummy, and you might not have been on your tummy since you've had your baby, so this just might feel weird and it might feel enough. And at any point you can roll onto your side, and I can give you the same movement lying on your side. So Sophie, just be mindful of the cesarean. If it doesn't feel right for you particularly, just roll onto the side and you can do the same movement on your side. But if you're on your tummy and it's feeling okay, we're going to exhale and just let the hips gently press down into the floor, like along the top of the thighs, along the top of the hips. And then take your right arm out in front of you, and as you blow out, just lift the right arm and the head a few inches up off the ground. Inhale, back down. Exhale, raise. Inhale, back down. Exhale, raise. So you're blowing as you lift the head and the arm, and you're reaching that arm as far away as you can. Inhale, back down. I'm pressing the tops of my feet into the floor and the hips. I'm going to do one more on this side. And if that's not for you and you're working on your side, just make sure you're sending that top hip away from you so you've got a bit of space at the waist. And we're just going to take the arm over the head and the leg, and we're just going to raise both at the same time. So you're going to just do an arm and leg raise if you're on your side. So just adjusting as you need to. And then on the ladies on the tummy, we're going to swap the arms around. So when you're ready, press into the feet, press into the hips. Exhale, blow out the candles as you lift the head and the chest and the arm. And inhale, back down. Exhale, rise. So feel across the back of the waist. Have an intention of sending your bra strap down towards the top of your leggings and squeezing the back of the waist. So we're looking for strength in the back. We're using these back muscles to lift the top end of the body up off the floor. As you inhale and rest down on the floor, you might need to have a little rest for a couple of breaths and miss a few rounds out. And then when you're ready to activate the feet, the hips, find your breath, we're going to blow and go for another raise, squeezing the back of the waist together and come back down. See if you can do another 3 more on that side, or if you're on your side, keeping that little gap in your waist, sending the top hip away from your head, and then we're going to just lift the arm and the leg. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Try not to wobble the chest or the hips forward or back. Good. Well done, everybody. Okay, so if you're on your tummy, we're going to roll onto the side, and we're going to join the, if anyone's been doing it on the side, we're all going to do a few of these as well. So rather than having the hand over the head, let's just have it in front of us so it's almost like a little support. And be careful not hips forward and back. We want to be completely still. Now think about this little bit of waist that's probably resting on the floor. If you take the top hip and just roll it away from you, just lift the waist up off the floor, just a millimetre or two, so you can almost slide your fingers underneath. That's where we want to keep the pelvis. So keeping your pelvis completely still, spread your toes, and then when you're ready, we're going to blow out the breath and just lift that leg up and exhale back down. Inhale at the bottom, exhale, lift and lower. So work with your breath. Exhale. You can just exhale for the whole breath and just do it in one move. Or if you want to slow it down, you can exhale, lift, hold at the top as you inhale, exhale, lower. Remembering the slower you go, the harder it is, the more work you're doing. So you can either exhale up and down, or if you want it a little bit harder, exhale up, hold the leg, inhale at the top, and exhale down. Whatever you choose, you're going to do another 2 or 3 here, making sure that your hip is still traveling away from you, not sinking in towards the head, and that you've got a little bit of pelvic floor and core on. That's going to stabilize you. Good, well done. And then wherever you are, you're just going to roll onto your tummy and lengthen the other arm out and roll onto the other side. Send that hip away from you. Have the hand as a little anchor. Activate both feet, so your feet are stacked one on top of the other, toes are spread. And then when you're ready, you're going to lift and lower without moving the pelvis or anything above the pelvis. So blowing out your breath and either inhaling at the bottom, exhale, lift and lower, or inhaling at the bottom, exhale, lift, hold it there as you inhale, exhale, lower. Moving as slow as you can, with as much control as you can. Keeping your hips stable, no wobbling. Maybe finding a little bit more core through the tummy, through the pelvic floor. Just seeing how that feels for another 5 repetitions. Good, so we're working the core in all different directions today, from underneath, from the sides of the waist, from the front of the belly, and from the back. Really well done. So last one, as slow as you can, with as much control as you can. Brilliant. Okay, so from here, we're just going to roll onto our backs. And let's have a pillow underneath the head, so you've got a little bit of comfort, a little bit of support in the back of the neck. And it's going to help you lengthen the back of the neck and the crown of the head away from you, and just draw the chin in a bit. So we've got that lovely long, flat back of the body. Now placing the feet quite close into the body, toes forward, you can almost touch the heels with your fingers. We're just going to start with our little subtle pelvic tilts. So we're not rolling up yet. We're just sending the tailbone down into the mat and then scooping the tailbone up to the sky. And just feeling that through the thighs and noticing how the back of the waist lifts off the floor as the tailbone scoops down. And then as it rolls under and lifts up, the back of the waist presses down. So just exploring your pelvis, your tailbone, and moving one way and the other. Hands can be by your sides for a little bit of support, or it can feel nice to have them on the tummy, and you'll feel the tummy lightly engaging as you do the movement. Remembering to connect in with that blowing out the candle breath. So I quite like to exhale as I roll my tailbone up towards the sky, scooping in that belly. And then inhale at the top, and then exhale as I roll the tailbone back down to the floor. Inhale at the bottom, and then exhale, roll back up. So really take your time. We're just going to do another 2 or 3 here. And then placing the hands down on your side, on the floor. On your next exhale, just start to roll the tailbone up and then keep rolling, sending your knees away from you as you roll up through your spine towards your shoulder blades. Inhale when you get there. Exhale, roll down through the whole spine. So activate your feet, spread your toes. Roll through the end of that movement. And then start again. Tailbone starts to lift towards the sky. Vertebrae by vertebrae peels off the floor. Send your knees forward. Feel a bit of strength in your thighs here. When you're at the top and you're inhaling, press into your feet. Press them down into the floor. Have a sense of the thighs working. You're trying to lift your hips up. You're leaning into those shoulders. And then when you're ready for your next exhale, roll slowly down. With control as you blow out that breath, coming all the way down onto the pelvis and letting the tailbone release. We're going to do 1 or 2 more here with your own breath, exhaling as you roll up slowly, slowly, pressing into the feet, feeling your thighs strengthen. So we've done calves today, we've done thighs, getting into the glutes and the hamstrings. This is all great to protect all of your joints. So ankles, knees, hips, but also it does start to work into the core. So we're getting that lovely bit of stability through the whole body. So just do 1 more here. And then as you come all the way down, landing nice and quietly, just bring the soles of the feet together and let your knees flop out to the side. Good. Just going to rest your hands on the tummy and take a big breath into the hands. And a big sigh. Good, take another big breath in. Relax your thighs. Relax your hips, your glutes. And as you exhale, relax your back. So really look for softening, for that moment of pause and letting go. And then bringing the hands under the thighs, lifting the legs back up, placing your feet back so they're hip distance apart. We're going to just take them a little bit away from us, just to make this next move nice and easy. And then we're going to kind of window wipe the legs from left to right. So just taking your knees over to the right. So your left knee almost would kind of almost touch your right calf or ankle. And then with the arms out to the sides, your head's turning to the left. And then gently roll back to center. And exhale, roll the knees out to the left. They don't have to come onto the floor. Mine are definitely off the floor, and I'm using the outside edges of my feet to support the legs. Head turning to the right. So alternating the legs and taking the head in the opposite direction. Reaching out with your arms, palms facing up for a little bit of stability. And just taking this lovely little movement from one side to the other. Just rolling across the sacrum, resting into the edges of the feet. Try to have a sense of kind of emptying the legs, emptying your body, letting yourself rest into all the points of contact that's touching the floor, and allowing all those points of contact that's touching the floor to become the roots of that rose. So everything on the ground is now the roots. Probably the knees and maybe your nose. That's the rose, the bit furthest away from the ground. Everything else is rooted. Good. So just enjoy that movement one more time, taking it really gracefully, with a lot of ease, with a lot of comfort. Anything feeling too twingy, you make the movement smaller, you don't come in so far. Good. And then we're going to find our way into Shavasana. So we've got a few options for this. You can either keep the legs where they are, heels out, knees together. That can feel really supported for the lower half of the body. You can use your pillow or a bolster if you've got one underneath the knees. If you haven't got one but you think this looks nice, try and just get a couple of pillows next week, roll them up and put a few elastic bands around them, or get a massive towel and roll it up and just make your own bolster. So next week you've got something for under your knees. And then definitely keep a pillow underneath your head and your shoulders, just the very tops of the shoulders, and have the palms facing up. If anybody wants to rest and get into the shoulders a little bit more, you can bring them up into cactus arms or over the head into a little diamond shape, but just make sure the elbows are actually resting on the ground. If they're up in the air, draw the arms back down towards shoulder height. You definitely want the elbows supported. So wherever you are for your relaxation, these are all great opportunities to rest. Another one you might think of doing is keeping all the body on the floor, but bringing the legs into this position and resting them on your sofa. So if you've got a chair or sofa nearby, you can do a kind of half legs up the wall pose by just resting these lower limbs on the chair or the sofa. And finally, if your babies need a bit of cuddling, a bit of feeding, you might want to be lying on your side and just giving them a little snuggle and a little feed. So wherever you're at, ladies, you're going to close your eyes here and take a few lovely big sighs. Just breathing into your whole body for a moment and exhaling, emptying. Exhaling, going all floppy, letting all the muscles relax as much as they possibly can. Looking for those little moments of give where you just realise, oh, I was actually holding on to something there. And that little moment of give just gives you that next layer of release, sinking down into the mat. So just relaxing, breathing, noticing where the breath is going. As it moves into the tummy, as the belly rises and falls, as the ribs gently expand and contract with your breath. Can you let your head feel just a little bit heavier? What needs to happen to relax the head another 10%? And then once more, noticing sensations around the crown of your head, feeling a sense of openness, receiving, inspiration, intuitions, just drawing that all in round the crown of the head. And then feeling a kind of warm and calming energy moving down through the face as you relax the eyes and the jaw, moving down the back of the head, into the back of the neck, across the throat, and then into the shoulders. Just moving your awareness with that warm and calming energy down the arms, to the elbows, to the wrists, to the fingertips. Noticing sensation in the palms of your hands. And just taking this opportunity to rest completely. So Lindsay, just rejoining us. If you want to lie down on your back or curl up on your side, just take a little moment to come into Shavasana. You can even do legs on the sofa if you want to lie in this position to get extra recharge if you're particularly tired. This is really good, just resting the legs over the sofa or the chair. And then on your next little side, just feeling that warm, calming energy, kind of moving all the way down through the torso, so down across the heart, noticing the openness in your heart, the expansion, down across the belly, feeling that warm, calming energy moving down the whole of your spine, into the pelvis, into the hips. Feeling that warm, calming energy soften all around the reproductive organs, the pelvic floor. Just letting the pelvic floor move naturally with the breath. Just maybe noticing as you breathe in a quiet, gentle pressure with the breath, very subtly into the pelvic floor, like you're blowing up a balloon. And as you breathe out, just feeling that release and the pelvic floor naturally drawing in and up, but super subtle. It's hardly there at all. Just the natural way that we move when we breathe. Just see if you can spot that as you drop into a deeper place of relaxation. And then exhaling, sending that warm, calming energy down through the thighs, feeling the muscles relax, feeling the bones relax. And then gently moving into those knees, just sending them a little bit of love. All the getting up and getting downs that we do when we've got little ones. Feeling the inside of the knees, the kneecaps at the front, and the softness behind the knees. Sending them that warmth, that love, healing, and then moving down into the shins and the calves, down into those ankles. Softening something in the ankles, letting them have a little rest. Moving down into the feet, tops of the feet, soles of the feet, and then down into the big toes. Just feeling the big toes from the inside, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, feeling the little baby toe. And then once more scanning through those roots from your feet, from your base, through the building, through the earth, going as quickly as you can all the way down through all the layers of the earth, feeling those roots tying again all around all the boulders, seeing your name and today's date, the 11th of June 2020, and having that sense of anchoring, grounding. Just being where your 2 feet are is a good mantra. We can only be where our 2 feet are in time and space. And it helps us remember to come back into what's right in front of us in our reality in this moment. Can we let go of the thinking mind that is often ruminating about future things that haven't even happened yet, might not even happen, or thinking about the past, which has happened, and we need to move forward, let it go. Letting go of guilt and anxiety, worry. Noticing when we future or past think how much energy it uses up. And then coming back into where your 2 feet are, just being 100% present in the here and now. So taking that grounding sensation back up through your roots, through your feet, lower leg, upper leg, all the way to the heart. Feeling the crown of the head open and receiving anything you need a little bit of today, any energizing, any inspirations, any guidance, any answers, allowing that to come in and meet at your heart, and feeling the two energies intertwine and spiral, and feeling that move out to your whole body as you relax there. Now taking a deep breath into your whole body, feeling your whole body sitting quietly upon the earth in this moment. Taking another deep breath in and out. And if you're on your backs, using the next inhale to curl up onto your side, moving carefully, relaxing when you get onto your side. Scanning through your body, noticing any sensations. If there's any aches or twinges, can you soften into that space? Can you send it some breath, some nurture, and let it soften and relax and heal? And then listening to all the sounds around you. Start to inhale, big breaths in as you wiggle the fingers and the toes. Having that sense of where your body is on the mat, in your room, at the end of the practice. And on your next breath in, just gently start to open the eyes, taking in how you feel in this moment. Coming up to sitting in your own time. And when you get there, no rush, but when you get there, just bring the hands into prayer at the heart and bow the head down and take a few final breaths into that heart space. Just connecting into your wisdom, your deep knowing, that mother's instinct. And just slowing down enough, coming into the present, just to listen to that wisdom that's always with you. Especially if you've got a lot going on at the moment and your mind's tripping into the future or the past a lot, just come back to that heart space. Come back to where your 2 feet are, what's arising in front of you. And just go through life as moment by moment as you can. So setting that intention perhaps for the rest of the day, just taking this feeling with you, this presence into the rest of your day, into the rest of your week. And then when you're ready, just gently opening the eyes, maybe having a little stretch up. Give yourself a big smile and then a big hug. We'll just finish with a big hug. And then inhale, open the chest one more time. Cross the arms the other way, another big hug, a bit of self-nurture, self-care. Treat yourself to a nice warm bath later. A little quiet cup of tea, looking at the flowers in the garden. Just 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Well done, everybody. Little shoulder roll. You've all done brilliantly. So thank you all so much for coming together for your practice today and for allowing me to take you through it. It's such a treat for me. I do love it so much. So thank you all so much.